Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Carlito's journey to relevance here in the mid-2000s. In our previous episode, we answered the challenge of the Great Khali set by John Cena, and our relationship with Mick Foley took another step after he saved us from a post-match beatdown. This led to a one-on-one matchup with John Cena where we emerged victorious. We're closing in on Vengeance, and a decision is going to have to be made about the championship match. Stay tuned.
We're just over 2 weeks away from Vengeance. JR and the King at ringside. And I can't imagine a bigger main event than the one we've got tonight.
Yeah, and I can't imagine why our general manager is allowing this psycho Mick Foley to be part of it.
He is a championship contender last I checked.
He's a danger to himself and to everyone around him is what he is.
This superstar wanted so badly to get his hands on the champion that he agreed to this 2-on-3 handicap match.
And that could be one of the biggest mistakes he's ever made. Only an idiot walks into a situation where the numbers are against him.
I don't think there's any question that he's worthy of being in the main event mix. But what happens when he and his partner inevitably have to face each other?
What do you mean there's no question? I've got a few questions. Like, how come this guy isn't locked up in a padded cell?
We're only a couple of weeks away from Vengeance, and this so-called contender hasn't managed to earn himself a title match so far.
Hey, how about you hold off until this match is over, huh? You never know what's going to happen here tonight.
I think this superstar is going to have to deliver in a big way if he really wants to establish himself as a true contender tonight.
I'm sure he's already got his mind set on doing just that, JR.
As involved as he's been in the main event mix lately, this is only the second time the champ has locked horns with his contenders.
That's
The
smart
week after our
strategy by the
one-on-one
champ.
match with John
Let your
Cena
contenders wear
led
each
us
other down
to a
and then pick up
2-on-3
the easy
handicap
win at
match
Vengeance.
featuring Mick Foley,
No problem.
John Cena, and his Goonies.
This
It was a
competitive
bit of a
crowd.
back and forth affair. John Cena represented
Trained
his team
professionals.
fairly well, but we were giving it to him so hard that the game broke. Ultimately, we were able to wrap it up, reboot the system, and finish the match and pick up that dubski.
Mick Foley has completely snapped.
He's lost it. We might need more referees out here.
I wanted to believe that Foley was just frustrated, but I think it's worse than that.
I'm glad you finally opened your eyes. Foley is a menace. This man needs professional help.
He's completely focused on winning the championship.
This cutscene, clearly, Mick Foley and I have got some friction between the two of us. Not entirely sure what's going on, but I'm sure this article is going to clear up some of those questions. Foley flip-flops on his partner. With Vengeance less than 2 weeks away, Foley has broken his silence and discussed his intentions regarding his recent partnership with Carlito. There's only one reason I came back to WWE again, and that's to challenge for the WWE Championship. And because Carlito and I have fought the good fight together, Khali and Dykstra haven't been able to take us out of the picture. Foley's tone changed, however, when asked about his future with Carlito. You see, I've carried him as far as I can. He's got to leave the nest and fly on his own, because I have to take care of my own business. Alright, Foley's really crazy about this one. Carrying an undefeated Carlito. Get real. Carlito did not take kindly to Foley's words. Carry me? He hasn't carried me anywhere. I became the #1 contender on my own, and if Foley feels otherwise, he can prove it next week on Raw. Damn right, Carlito. Stick it to him. We're going to simulate over to another article. 2 men, 1 opportunity. Mick Foley and Carlito will meet next week on Raw with the #1 contender status on the line. Each has their own motivation to fuel their passions. These past few months, I've put myself on the line for Carlito, and without me, he'd have been squashed like a bug long ago. When we get in that ring, I'm going to prove it. Then I'm going to go on to Vengeance and take care of Cena for the WWE Championship. Carlito, in no uncertain terms, disagrees. Cena is mine. That title will be mine. But it's going to be so much sweeter knowing that I put Foley in his place on the way to the championship. when I beat him, there will be no doubt I'm the number one contender. There should have been no doubt when I beat Shawn Michaels, but let's run it back. If you're sure you want to do this, okay, I think you're a bit crazy yourself, but I'm booking you a match with Foley next week on Raw. Imagine the interest. This week you're facing Dykstra, and there's a good chance Cena will try to get involved.
Hey, word to the wise. Next week's match against Mick Foley is going to be brutal. And then you have to face the champ at Vengeance if you win. So don't go all out tonight, if you can help it.
Coach, don't you even worry,
Over
brother.
a week away from Vengeance. Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler at ringside. And next week's main event is Mick Foley's chance to become the #1 contender.
And if I was facing Mick Foley next week, I'd use this week to take him down a peg.
That's one idea, King. Another is to face a healthy Mick Foley and prove your legitimacy beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Spoken like a guy who's never competed for a championship, JR. Nice guys finish last.
With his schedule for next week's set, this will probably be the last time he faces one of the champ's henchmen.
Championship contenders, JR. Championship contenders. You keep calling them henchmen, and I think the champ's going to have a problem.
He has tried and failed to take out his opponent over the last couple of months. And you know the champ can't be happy about that.
I'm sure the champ would be happy to see a potential contender knocked out of the running, but I hope you're not implying the champ's trying to get him to do his dirty work.
Well, if the champ isn't having his friends do his dirty work, then explain to me why he's coming out here for this match.
How many times do I have to say it? One of these superstars is a potential challenger for his championship. He's just doing his homework.
Coach has got to stop putting me in these matches with Kenny Dykstra because Kenny Dykstra just cannot hang.
It can't end like this.
Gift
Come
wrap.
on, do something.
Merry Christmas. Smooth like butter. The smoothest to do this. Carlito is the man. He
There's
picked
the
up the
pin.
victory over Kenny
Well, you
Dykstra.
can't ever accuse the WWE fans of being shy about saying he's endured 2 months of adversity, and it might finally be taking its toll.
You can't let the pressure get to you like that if you want to go all the way.
Maybe so. I can hardly blame him. Think about what he's had to endure.
Boo-hoo. I've held championships before, and you didn't hear me cry when the going got tough.
It looks to me like he just wants to compete and get it over with right now.
Too bad for him. Save it for next week.
Your match against Mick Foley is Raw's main event this week, but I think management wants to see something a little bit more than a plain old one-on-one match. I'm going to forward you an email that you might be interested in reading.
Top contenders tear into each other. For the man on top of the mountain looking down at his competition, there can be no more satisfying sight than the two men below him getting ready to fight with each other. Awesome. Just awesome, Cena told WWE.com. These two are going to destroy each other and make my job a whole lot easier at Vengeance. Dykstra heard Cena's accusatory statement and responded, "Not up for the job, huh? You tell Cena that he's on his own at Vengeance. Let's just see how he does without someone doing all his dirty work for him." Now Dykstra, Cena's gonna catch that smoke, but it's not going to be because you're not there, brother. I'll tell you that much right now. It's going to have more to do with the mistakes and the errors in these articles than it's going to have to do with your presence, my man. We are still at the top of the power rankings. It now represents John Cena as champion, so good for them. Now we've got Vince McMahon's email to Coach. He strongly suggests that Coach takes advantage of Mick Foley being a hardcore legend. This match then gets turned into a hardcore match. Vince McMahon closes his trap. Doubt it. Following a plea for advice from GM Coachman to Vince McMahon regarding the upcoming #1 contenders hardcore match between Carlito and Mick Foley, Mr. McMahon has amended the rules to something more to his liking. GM Coachman asked me if I thought the no DQ clause was a mistake. He expressed his very valid concerns that Cena would get involved in the match and wanted to tone it down to prevent Cena's interference. Frankly, that's not my style. While I respect GM Coachman's concerns, toning down is not something the fans expect from me, but I have in fact altered the rules. Instead of a hardcore match, it will be a steel cage match. That's that. We got a bunch of emails, basically the aftermath, the fallout of that announcement. This is Coachman's emails between Vince McMahon. Boss wants a steel cage match. He's going to get it. You know the rules. First one to touch the arena floor wins. You can go out the door or over the walls to get the win. Don't forget, if you lose, you also lose your title match that you won 2 months ago. Whatever.
Oh, yeah. I knew they'd put you in a steel cage if I dropped enough hints about interfering in the match. Hope you enjoy your match, kid. Because I'm definitely going to.
It don't matter as long as I don't injure myself. I know my fatigue is getting up there a little bit.
I'm sorry you've got to be locked up with me this week. I've been locked up with myself for years, and it's not a very pleasant place to be. But this week, I'm opening my mental cage and freeing all of my inner demons. You won't be facing Mick Foley, author of children's books. You'll be facing the most violent, ruthless superstar ever to set foot in a WWE ring, Cactus Jack.
I love it. Great phone promo. Great FOMO right there. Mick, let's get into this match.
Vengeance is this Sunday. It's good old JR Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler at ringside. And tonight's main event is a pay-per-view quality matchup.
For years, I've been saying Mick Foley should be locked up, and tonight, it's gonna happen.
A steel cage match to determine the #1 contender at Vengeance.
These two aren't gonna hold anything back tonight. I can't wait.
This is his final step toward establishing himself as the #1 contender for the championship. It all comes down to this match.
And it's not gonna be easy, but if he wins here tonight, no one can ever say that he didn't earn it.
To the casual observer, this looks like Mick Foley. But underneath the surface beats the heart of a madman, Cactus Jack.
I'm no pushover, JR, but you couldn't pay me enough to get in the ring against Cactus Jack. He's an animal.
And Mick came at us with aggression, with early offense, and with brutal strikes. He's a hardcore legend, and they ain't lying. He did a number on Carlito, but Carlito was able to fight back. We were able to get our offense in. But you know what? Despite getting our offense in, Mick Foley kept coming back. It was a handful, but Carlito was able to deliver that cool shot and then climb over the walls.
Hey, don't leave yet. Back in here.
What's Foley up to now?
Don't worry. This isn't Cactus Jack. Here, I'll prove it.
That's Mr. Socko. That certainly isn't a Cactus Jack move.
Is he going to shake his hand or
Doesn't
not?
give me the option to choose.
Well, I'm glad to see a sane Mick Foley.
Oh, that was quick. That was quick. He's in this with the mandible claw.
And there's the champion.
His championship match at Vengeance just got a whole lot easier.
Cena's loving it. Carlito faces Foley's fury, but survives. For Carlito, the personal sacrifices made over the past few weeks hardly seem to compare to the turn of events that followed his recent steel cage match victory over Foley on Raw. He is now the definitive #1 contender to Cena's championship, and I have been, by the way. But at what price? And can he still perform competitively against the champ at Vengeance? In a surprise move, Foley appeared in the ring as his alter ego Cactus Jack. No, he didn't. After losing the match, suckering Carlito into returning to the ring and administering the mandible claw. A rose by any name should be so brutal. Now, as he prepares to face Cena for the WWE Championship, some are questioning his health and speculating about how he might be affected. I haven't come this far to lay down and give up, Carlito said. I'm concerned, but not worried. The only thing we're concerned about is Cena's health. We are about to get in that ass.
I hope you're not expecting an apology from me. You got what was coming to you when you stole my dream. Now I'm going to be your nightmare.
Well done, well done. That was a fantastic victory. I'm appalled and disgusted by Foley's actions following your win for what it's worth. Anyway, I hope you've healed enough to compete this Sunday. Of course I have. Oh, and I might have some bad news to report to you, but until I can make sure it's true, I don't want to say any more about it. Stay tuned. Please don't shoot the messenger. My hands are tied here. Bad news. Foley has signed a one-day managerial contract with Cena for the Vengeance. For the Vengeance. You gotta say the Vengeance show if you're gonna say the Vengeance. Anyway, Foley's gonna be there at Vengeance to make no impact.
You're probably sick and tired of getting punked out, ain't you? Don't sweat it. After I beat you at Vengeance and retain my championship, you're gonna be back at the bottom of the pile. Ain't nobody gonna mess with you down there, kid.
John Cena, my brother, you are so lucky this is the end of the episode, or else you would be catching these hands right now, my man. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Leave some feedback down below, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you later. Take it easy.